What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Command and Console. My name is Jason. Today we're back with more PS2 goodness. And guys, you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the title. Holy Grail has been acquired. Don't tell Indiana Jones, because it's not going to a museum, it's going into my collection. I am so happy about this. Not happy about the price I paid, but I'm happy about finally adding this game to the PS2 collection. Yeah, so without further ado, welcome to Project PS2. So yes, we've got a few pretty decent games today to show you guys. Games that I either forgot came out, been wanting for ages, couldn't find a good condition version of, but here we are. Project PS2, we're back at it with more PS2 goodness. Let's get to the games. The first game is a first-person shooter. I remember back in the day, this was billed as a Halo killer. Loads of games were billed as that when they came out after Halo, because Halo was so big at the time. But this game, it's not as good as Halo, because low-key, I love Halo, but it's actually pretty decent. It's pretty fun. It's got a great selection of weapons in it. The shooting's really fun, and I like it overall. And it is Mace Griffin Bounty Hunter. Yeah, this game is very, you can tell it's heavily inspired by stuff like Halo. It's very much a sci-fi FPS, but it's got great gunplay. I generally like the character in general, it's pretty cool, and yeah, it gives me, the gameplay in general gives me vibes of like if you took the Judge Dredd game that I spoke about a little while ago, Judge Dredd Death vs Death, and a bit of Halo in there, you kind of have the concoction that would make up this game. Really cool. It's got one really good weapon in it that I always like to use, which is the Magnum. The Magnum in this game is so satisfying to use, with an amazingly satisfying reload animation. I'm a sucker for reload animations, I really am. Especially when they sound awesome as well. It's just, there's something about it, guys. This game's really fun. Like I said, the sci-fi first-person shooter with great weapons to use. Really great Magnum in it that just is powerful as all hell. And yeah, billed as a Halo killer. Not quite that, but a little kind of a forgotten gem on the PS2 for first-person shooters. I think it's really good. On the front, PlayStation World magazine gave it a 9 out of 10, said Mace Griffin is Halo for the PlayStation 2. See what I did there with the Halo thing? People do think it was going to be the next Halo-style game. And PSI 2 magazine gave it a 9 out of 10, said it's exceptional. So it got really good reviews back in the day, and I still think it's a pretty solid first-person shooter. That's Mace Griffin, Bounty Hunter. Next game is a sequel of a game that I absolutely love, a racing game. This is the sequel of it. Not really a big fan of the sequel, but I wanted to have more of a completionist with the PS2 collection, and I do want to give this a second go, because I might, enjoy it on a second try. That is Juice 2 Hot Import Nights. This game is quite different to the original for me. I feel like it didn't follow the same structure of progression and customization and pink slip racing and racing for pink slips. This does more lead into more of the drifting side of street racing, which is fine. I don't mind the drifting that much, but I feel like it's the whole game mechanic is, learn how to drift and drift well, and you will just win races. Unfortunately for me, I don't think it's as good as the first game in this series. And yeah, I got the PS2 version because I felt like I've got the first one on PS2, so why not have a matching sequel for that? I don't know what the 360 version brings to the game, aside from higher resolutions and maybe a little bit better graphics. I'm not too sure, but I'm happy to get this one. Trying to find this one in a good condition was a nightmare. I've come across this game numerous times in CEX and eBay. They either have no manual, the case is just wrecked, or the disc looks absolutely just gross. So I'm happy to find it in really good nick with the manual, and looking forward to giving this a second chance. Every game is worth a second chance, regardless of how you felt about it when you played it the first time. So maybe on this second go around, I might actually enjoy this one. That's Juice 2 Hot Import Nights. The next game is a really fun game. If you like the films Desperado, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and I've forgotten the first one, El Mariachi. You know those films, you know them. They're the Latino gangster films. There's a game called Total Overdose. This is literally those games personified into a video game. Latino Mad Max, some people would actually can't say, but yeah, very much over the top action in style of Mad Max, bullet time and all that, but it's a bit more sillier, which I like. It's a bit more over the top. It's super violent. You've got stupid weapons in this, like briefcase machine guns and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It goes really ham into the Latino stereotype, which might turn people off, but I think it's all done in jest, so it's really fun. Yeah, love this game. It's really, really fun. I'm glad to pick it up for £4. I think it's a good price for this game. Again, all these games are complete with manual because I'm a bit of a stickler with that. So you just got to have manuals with it, obviously. But yeah, this game is really fun. If you want something a bit different, that's similar to Mad Max in terms of its kind of action flair, but it's more rooted in kind of like Mexico and that Latino vibe, like the Mexico cartel kind of gangster warfare kind of vibe. It's really fun, really fun. That's Total Overdose. Absolute bonkers of a game. Highly recommend that one. This next game is a sequel to an isometric RPG that I absolutely adore growing up, and I've never actually played this sequel, so I can't comment on this one, but people keep saying to me, if you want a great RPG for the PS2, get both of these games. I've got the first one, of course, I've played it, but this one I've not played yet, and that is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. Yeah, what can I say about the series in general? I love the Dark Alliance game for PS2, the original. It's an amazing isometric RPG. I think it was probably the first ever isometric RPG I ever played, and it made me fall in love with those style of games. Like, I went on to play Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. I loved those games, and yeah, I've just really, it basically gave me a love for isometric RPGs. And yeah, so people keep saying, like, if I like the first one, the sequel's as good, if not better, maybe. So looking forward to giving this a go. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it's complete with manual. It was in pretty good nick, so I thought I'd grab it. I had vouchers anyway, so it wasn't too problem for me. But yeah, really happy about this. The manual's in really, really clean condition, and the disc is in really good condition as well. So I'm pretty chuffed about this. I'm pretty chuffed about getting this one. Looking forward to giving it a go. Like people said, you know, it's pretty much on par with the first game, so I'm hoping to have as much fun as the first game. That is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. This is where we get to the creme de la creme, the holy grail in this video. If you've watched this channel for a lengthy of time, you should know that there's always been the #1 game for PS2 that I wanted to pick up. Since the beginning of Project PS2, this game has been on the #1 list for the whole time. A year, 18 months, however long I've been doing this channel, however long I've been doing Project PS2, this game has been on the top of the list as the must-get game for PS2. Now, the caveat is that I had to settle for the Platinum Edition of this game. Now, I've always said, guys, that this is the only game that I would settle for the Platinum Edition. It will be the only Platinum Edition game in my collection because I had to get it. It was there, I had vouchers, and it was in pristine condition, amazing condition. If you've seen the thumbnail, you already know what I'm going to pick up right now. You just know what it is. You know what it is, guys, and I know what it is, obviously, and I'm so happy about it. Silent Hill 2. It is finally within my grasp. I knew that I had to make some sacrifices when it concerned Black Label and get the Platinum version when it was there, because I've hunted for the cardboard box Black Label version, and the amount of times that version has been absolutely wrecked, the cardboard out of box, absolutely wrecked, sticker residue just ripping the box, the artwork off. So many examples of that version being, finding it in good condition is nearly an impossibility at this point. Yeah, I can imagine Nintendo cardboard collectors are probably in the same boat there with trying to find stuff in pristine condition when it's cardboard. It's very hard, especially when it has age and stuff like that. So when this was in my local CEX and I checked it over, the case is almost minty, It's got a bit of dirt on the front, but that can be cleaned. The manual is really nice. A bit of a crease down the end there, but it's fine. Yeah, the disc is absolutely... It's just maybe a little bit of a mark, a little tiny mark on it, but nothing that will make it not playable. But yeah, I went for this version in the end. I couldn't leave it there. I had a voucher. I paid for the majority of it. I think I paid about £20 on top. This was £85 in CEX. I don't know how it's got to that point. Where has these games got to get to this point? If I didn't have a voucher for this, I wouldn't have bought this game. I would have cried my eyes out to leave it in the shop. There's no way I was going to pay £85 full poundaroos for this game from my own pocket. I had to have something there to offset the cost, and thankfully I had some vouchers to use. So this went from being £85 to being about £20, £25, something like that, that I paid in real cash. So I'm super chuffed about it, because it's just one of those games that it takes me back to when I had a PS2. It takes me back to just falling in love with horror games in general. Like, to me, this is the scariest game ever made. It's the best PS2 game ever made. I absolutely love it. I love the atmosphere. I love the story. I love the enemy variety. The do or die gameplay, where it's like, should you engage, should you not engage? You know, what you can afford in the game that might hinder you later on. There's so much in this game that I just adore. I adore it to pieces, right? So yeah, this is going to be the only Platinum Edition game in my collection. I had to make that compromise because, like I said, getting the Black Label version for this game, it's really hard to get in good condition. I have, just for the sake of just Black Labelness, right? People might think I'm mental. I have bought a replacement inlay for this game. It's literally this artwork, but it is Black Label. It go in the case to make it look Black Label, just for my own visual thing. You know, just to have on the shelf as Black Label. Yeah, that's all I've done, is bought a custom inlay for it to make it Black Label. So it looks cool. I am so happy, guys. I can't preface how much I love this game. I can't describe how much I love this game, and I can't what's the word? I can't just like get the words out of how much I'm so happy about owning this one now. Does this mean I'm not going to go for the Black Label? See, if I see the Black Label version in really good nick, I'm probably still going to get that as well. And don't forget, I've got an original Xbox as well now, so I'm probably going to be looking for Silent Hill 2 on the original Xbox as well. But yeah, Silent Hill 2 on the PS2 is finally in the collection. So that is it, guys. Those are the pickups for Project PS2 as of late. Super chuffed about pretty much all of these games. I'm looking forward to playing Baldur's Gate. Mace Griffin is a really fun shooter. Juice 2 could be a hidden gem, like, you know, on the replay I might like it a bit more. But obviously the creme de la creme for me is Silent Hill 2. And the fact that this is the director's cut is really cool, because it's got some bonus features you only can get in this version. So I think I chose wisely there to go for this version. But like I said, I bought a custom inlay for it, so it may look a bit more, you know, normal Black Label. So I know it's cheating, but fuck it, I don't care. But yeah, super happy about that. Anyway, guys, as always, let me know any of your thoughts on these games in the comments down below. And as always, let's continue to build a PS2 collection.